Speaker. I rise this evening to speak to the estimates report tabled by the Transport and Resources Committee. This report's number 10 from our committee. Our committee we had a long day ahead of us. Sadly, it did start poorly with a cheap stunt about one of our committee members who'd been stood down and replaced for the day and whether he was still being paid. The issues were completely beyond the control of our committee, the Secretariat, myself, or the Transport and Main Roads Minister, who was there to answer questions and was quite bemused that his time was being wasted and the committee's time in this way. The opposition members knew full well the issue could not be resolved there and then, and it was a disappointing way to start the day. I sincerely hope there's no complaints about time being wasted, as they were guilty of this from the get-go. I've just also got to pass comment on some of the visiting members, Everton, Broadwater and Maroochydore, who, in my opinion, they blatantly disregard the process, constantly spoke over the minister and tried to speak over the chair. The member from Maroochydore in particular is a former speaker who many in this place, including myself, look up to. And it was certainly disappointing this occurred not only in our session but in others I watched. Speaker, I made a point of allowing just about every question to proceed to ministers and officials. Despite imputation and arguments in most of them, I allowed the ministers to answer as they saw fit when a question was deliberately inflammatory, and if the members from Maroochydore, Broadwater and Everton had waited to hear the answers to their obviously loaded questions, the sessions would have gone a lot more smoothly. As it was, non-government 97 questions, the government did 49, 4.5 hours to 3.5 hours respectively. The questions during the day highlighted some great achievements of the Palaszczuk government. One in particular that grabbed me was the backing of Queensland maritime jobs by supporting the establishment of a new coastal shipping service, which not only provides stimulus to regional Queensland, but invests in skills and training capacity to help grow Queensland's maritime workforce. And, Speaker, when our previous committee did an inquiry into this industry, we saw that the training for future maritime workers, who will become our tugboat and pilot boat captains, Maritime Safety Queensland officers who protect our reef, that should be a priority. As a lot of vessels that use our ports are non-Australian flag vessels, they certainly aren't the best training ground for maritime workers who navigate ships around our reef. Our reef's unique, and we want industry-trained local people who care about its future, working around and protecting it. I could go on for ages about the fantastic things our government's doing in the transport space, but I'll move on. I just have to say Cross River Rail had reached a significant milestone, and now both Else and Merle have broken through, and we as a committee will be visiting that project soon. And we're looking forward to seeing those boring machines. In the portfolio area for the Minister for Energy, Renewables and Hydrogen, Minister for Public Works and Procurement, the highlight for me was the money which includes undertaking design and costing studies for a pumped hydro project at Barumba. Coming from the electricity supply industry myself and seeing how efficient Wivenhoe is, this body of work really excites me. These renewable clean power stations are not only great in an emergency, as was evidenced recently during the failure of the coal-fired power station at Callide, they also work as a battery to provide stable power during our evenings when solar doesn't generate. The resources portfolio questioning was a decent process, and I commend the Shadow Minister, the member for Condamine, for his civil manner and decent questioning in both this and the energy portfolio areas. I also must commend the Shadow Minister for Transport, the member for Chatsworth, who came in via video for reasonable questioning and respect for the process. I'd like to thank our committee members, our Deputy Chair, Member for Gregory, committee members, members of Mount Ommaney, Ipswich, Toowoomba North and Callide for their participation on the day. I'd like to thank the ministers, their staff, Directors General and their departments, GOC executives for their participation on the day. We had a number of non-committee members who attended. I'd like to thank them for their participation. I hope they can be more professional next time. And also, I'd just like to say, I would like them to see our committee members get some more questions on the day too. They work hard and deserve that. Thanks to Hansard, parliamentary staff and everyone who worked hard on the day. We were a hybrid, Speaker, of the estimates process because of the Delta strain outbreak we'd had. And I've got to say that we're in the Undumby room. I think it worked really well. The setup was as good as, if not better than, the normal process. I commend all the parliamentary staff who facilitated this so we could get estimates completed. We had a good day, a very, very long day, but I think we got a lot done. I commend the report to the House.
Madam Deputy Speaker.